them on Dust 2, and we'll have to see what ENCE got up to in the prep time on their T side.
Getting trounced in the pistol rounds as well. We'll see if they can make a difference on this occasion. So many have been offered, so many have failed, but maybe now is time to break the curse, if you will. Valde trying to close that distance, and he will be able to get the first kill. Down goes James. We can see that full rotation coming through from the CTs. Patient shot to the Glock, and are they going to win this pistol round?
It's certainly a possibility. It's looking likely. Valde getting these 2 kills has given them so much room, but they can't sit on their laurels too quick. Flit finding 1 and bringing it back to a 3-on-4, and they've got a kit, so they have time.
There's a flash for both sides. ENCE really, just for their own confidence, must win a pistol round. dycha will make it even harder for outsiders now as Flit and Norbert remain. Flashbangs being deployed, but Flit is in a 1 versus 4, and they've done it. They've broken the curse. The man with the greatest hand in esports, Valde, with the opening frags, and ENCE can convert afterwards.
I can't quite believe it, but it's a nice and quick play there from ENCE, and they don't let that retake get out of hand. They've been playing this tournament on hard mode with how many times they lose pistols, but maybe things can go a little smoother now that they got one under their belt. Guns out, and no fun for outsiders in the second round. They save, and they look forward to a round 3 bye.
James has a pop flash. Well, he has a flashbang, which I would imagine he will use in a pop flash fashion. But will the timing favor outsiders? They'll do what they can, but the MAC-10 will get some bonus money. Oh! That's quite something there. Always nice to get a quick knife round in a round which isn't a knife round. That just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's a lovely cash injection. I got a little spun out as well with where he was positioned. I mean, he got a MAC-10. He was running back towards looked like maybe a teammate. If you weren't paying too close attention, you would have thought.
Fancied himself a slice.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps this bodes well for ENCE. They will be expecting to have a strong CT side, and they've started the T side off well. But now the buy comes through for outsiders. Of course, they bought only a flashbang in that round prior, and now James on their first buy round has the AWP.
Always lovely. Extra $1,500 makes a bigger difference, and Norbert, nice off angle. Valde wasn't quite prepared for it, and they can't get the trade. Snappi, try as you might. We'll have to call from the sidelines now. ENCE down 2.
Hard mode appears very quickly indeed. The old look to take some angles away, some strong angles away with the Molotov. That's a chunky grenade onto Fame as well. Reading the reposition, punishing the reposition. That shot from dycha. He's got all the smarts for the B-bomb site, but more needs to be done. Close, but not quite. Off the side he goes. That leaves some Pius and maden. The last 2 for ENCE. Needs to get 1 more bullet at least. Very dicey, but ENCE are staying in this.
Yeah, small bumps, and those are signs of life, but maden being dropped does, I think, call it quits here for some Pius. Low HP, I mean, the bomb on the other side of the map has to try and do something with this AK, but the best he might be able to do is save. There can be something brought forward into the next round here for ENCE. This is usually the outsiders' game plan.
Goes past the unusable Portapuis.
Yep.
Hashtag buff the Portapuis.
No one ever uses them.
Kill the engaged sign. Doesn't need to be there. Helping no one.
Great stuff on that B-bomb site, though. The double kills from Flit and Norbert shut it down. They've got numbers in their name, and they get numbers in this round. Outsiders, they're first as soon as they get their hands on weapons. And now, how do ENCE approach this one? They didn't exactly have the most amount of money. They get a little bit extra into their pockets coming away from that first gun round. And how are they going to play around this Sun Pius AK is going to be a big question. Maybe they even give the responsibilities over to someone else. We talked about how maden and dycha have been pretty devastating as a 1-2 punch on the T sides here for ENCE. So very likely that one of them sees priority.
You can see the discussion. Everybody looks focused. Still early here on Vertigo.
I believe this was an Outsiders timeout instead, but...
It was, yeah.
ENCE will happily take that extra time. And yeah, they do decide to buy around the AK. Some bias will actually still wield it, so putting some trust in the AWPer to hit hard.
Let's see what they choose to offer then, ENCE. Some forward grenades on the ramp to limit what the CTs can do, but you still have to have some risk to try and find an entry, and there is maden delivering on a promise he might have made to his teammates. He gets traded, but he has created some space, and Pius now looks to follow up. He will be denied by the likes of Flit. They have weakened this push from ENCE. These rifles can be rescued, though. But now there are only 3 of them. I say only. There are 4 Outsiders players. If they can avoid a trade frag, then things could get very interesting indeed. But they need to find another kill on this bomb site.
James can't quite cover the angle in time, and actually caught Norbert off guard, but able to adjust, and Valde dropped. He lost the in the meantime as well, so Snappi's all that's left. A 1-on-4, and they are all over him. Behind, there is no sanctuary, and Flit will even go to chase him down. Wanted that 3rd extra kill in this round, but Snappi's hopes are doomed. A tying round from Outsiders, rather Snappi.
Secure round. Not taking too much damage. And you can really feel how tense this game of Vertigo is. Again, one team playing for the championship, playing for the trophy in the middle of the stage. The other team being ENCE, playing to take it to a 3rd map. And we're so early in this game of Vertigo. It already feels like we've been here a while. 2-2. And ENCE will be on the pistols. And hey, you can use this as a timeout as well. This is time to discuss. There's only so much you can expect to do in a round such as this. Nice work from Snappi, but he won't be able to find a kill. Combination of the MP9 and the shrapnel from the grenade will be enough to send him packing in round number 5.
Yeah, surprising amount of damage to have done so quickly, but yeah, Qikert getting that AWP out of James' hands. Even he's not so greedy, and he knows that they're on pistols. He loves farming up extra cash. Flit instead fights with the A1S, and that means that rifle can be retrieved because James can't cover it.
James must understand how urgent this position is if he's going to give the AWP to a teammate. Can't land the smoke properly though, but they can land the frags, and that will be key. Again, not much for ENCE to offer in the first place. I think 1 kill, you can be happy with that. Yeah. Just with these basic pistols that they have invested into. Not really much going on in that round, so that's a pretty reasonable result for them.
And pretty close to getting even more kills than that. We saw how low a couple of the Outsider survivors ended up being, so might not have been what they were entirely going for, but at least they threaten ENCE on a low buy like that. Get the warning shots in, or sorry, they threaten the Outsiders nice and early like that. They get the warning shots in nice and early. ENCE do have a full buy, and they've got some Pius on the AWP. We'll see if they can actually get engaged with it as well. They lost a lot of players in the earlier gun round. We had Norbert with the fantastic positioning in mid to get a double kill. They don't want to start in at a deficit so early into such an important round as well.
We've seen a lot of kills from the angle that St. Pius is holding in this round. We could see how quickly James disengaged from that position. Wasn't even looking all the way down the ramp, but just to the side. And he will find Snappi elsewhere as maden tries to make up for it. James just dancing now, jiggling, poking. maden will have to fall back and see if he can find something else elsewhere. Showing some presence, making some steps, but the rest of the team maybe trying to achieve something else. Our Outsiders being baited, even if they are. They have a man advantage.
Yeah, they tried building the boost again there, and it does feel a little desperate after the first time didn't work out. A lot of warning shots, and Fame can reinsert himself after being spotted rotating. Outsiders have 2 in position, and they have a fast rotate available as well with Flit. So if ENCE decide to NB like they're postured up to be, they're in for a world of hurt. Norbert starting off the affair, and Flit is there as well from the window. Fame can activate all 3 players having contributions here for the Outsiders defense, and some Pius is left alone again. First shot on that AWP will land, but there's more numbers, and a nade will finish the job. It will be a 4th for Outsiders.
These holds are starting to feel a bit strong for Outsiders at the moment, but every round is data for ENCE to think about. Of course, that data will change. They won't repeat the setups. They won't be too common for the CT team. Lots for ENCE to solve, though. Lots of problems being served to them by the likes of Outsiders. And, of course, Jame is firing. Maybe Outsiders have been growing with strength from this tournament up to this point, peaking in the finals, perhaps. The first map would certainly suggest that, but now they're playing their opponent's pick. Just as important to deliver there as well.
Always wonder as well whether the Outsiders get a little intimidated when there's a crowd in front of them to a certain degree. They were pretty proficient. I mean, they've played at majors, right? But it's not the lineup of old, you know, Qikert and Jame, the ones that have stuck around the longest. There've been a lot of moving pieces. But now to have a full house in front of them, maybe that's energized them.
Maybe it has. We've seen the support they have here as well.
Crowd didn't know whether it was going to be 2-0 or all 3. In fact, I think the cheers got weaker when they said all 3.
Safety in numbers for ENCE. This is a shooting gallery, so, and Flit will be the first one to start serving them all the things they're not looking for. 3 kills. Valde and Snappi remain. A bomb plant still possible. Probable no. Snappi is alone now with the P250. Much work to do.
And can do nothing. It's the 2 Fs of Outsiders that make it so you have to pay Fs for respects for the ENCE round. I mean, that's a half buy that they accomplished nothing with. The lower investment they had previously did more damage than this. And Flit was just confident to take every single one of these duels. He knew that they were stuck on the floor. They couldn't escape through the B-side window. And even if they tried, he would have probably got them too.
5-2 for Outsiders. ENCE back on the bye after a nothing round with the pistols. They know that Jame is lurking somewhere, but they still need to press forward. Lots of flashes on the ramp now. Snappi's angles will be taken away. Looking for the wallbangs, but we're not seeing those aggressive positions that ENCE might take when they move to the CT side. We know they like to be very aggressive down the ramp, but Outsiders are content for the time being. Maybe they'll change gears later on, but for now, indeed, they have been looking strong. Fame a little further forward as this fast round comes in from ENCE, so they find themselves their entry, but there's more players to deal with here as they're bunching up. Norbert finds one.
So close to the action as well, and around that smoke, Valde will try and find more, but maden burns to the flames, just on the small embers of it because it was expiring soon, and Flit's got another. It's now Valde that has to be the instrument for this round if ENCE want any success, lest they be singing songs of better days. Valde dropped just as easily, and Flit is finally dealt with, but it's again, we've seen Snappi in so many 1vx's, and he hasn't been able to find too much success. Outsiders playing it slow.
It's going to be real hard for him to isolate fights as that smoke gets redeployed. Committing to the bomb plant here, not going to get baited off it. Norbert's reload will give his position away. Shotgun mode for Snappi. He sees a leg. Oh, we've got a 360 MLG, no scope. Down he goes as well. Crazy stuff, but he was left in a bad situation. An entry frag, a 5 versus 4 turned into a 1 versus 4.
Yeah, and he knew that they were clustered up together as well. So as soon as he cleared the generator, just immediately realizing that, oh, they must all be going through this smoke. So the read was great, but couldn't quite hit the flick. After the hard work of getting the entry, they just couldn't get much more afterwards. There are these small mistakes that creep in. I mean, maden burning to the flames as well just limited the bodies on the bomb site and meant that they couldn't get that bomb down as well.
That was wild to watch, but you could see that first player just trying to bring the reticle away, create that space. Worst case scenario, trade frag secured around. That is the priority. Didn't cost them as much as it could have. And Outsiders secure another round. 4-round lead now over the 2 rounds of ENCE, who at this point, if they plant the bomb, at least they can buy again. But as we saw on an earlier map of Mirage, they've got to convert these rounds. The bomb plant won't be enough.
It's also just scary that the only 2 rounds they found so far were the pistol and the conversion.
Yep.
How on earth do you find this? May have broken the curse of winning pistol rounds, but now you want your gun rounds to find success. The Outsiders' defense on Dust 2 was impenetrable, it felt.
What can they do different? They found the entry on B, and then almost nothing else until it was clutch time. Like, you created an advantage for yourself,
Yeah.
but how do you capitalize on that versus the likes of Outsiders? Minute 20, as there is a focus on the ramp. You can see James creeping. Changing his position. Unless he's scoped above them, they might not know exactly where he is. Now looking at the util, there are smokes here for ENCE. They may look to cut the site in half and plant the bomb later. And if that is the case, there are 2 smokes for Outsiders as well.
Flit's really playing around with the one-way and hoping that he might find some semblance of information, but nobody moves there for ENCE.
They had 4, almost 5 players on the A-bomb site, Outsiders. And I wonder if there's a tell, something ENCE aren't doing, which is giving the game away there.
They're leaving, though. It's just Qikert at the sandbags and one site player. There's going to be James as well on short, but they get back in here in time and they don't clear the sandbags, so Qikert gets freebies. That's the bomb dropped on the ramp, 27 seconds, and the closest person that could have retrieved it has also been dealt with. They've now found Snappi, and Valde is just all alone. We've seen so many 1v3s, 1v4s, but we haven't had it on a rifle. Valde trimming the fat a little with one more kill, but he's calling it. It's another Outsider success. It actually looked like ENCE had the read there. They had some tells on how Outsiders were going to play around on A. Like you said, there were 4 players in position to deal with a hit, and when ENCE decided to move forward, they started to vacate, but they still couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, and maybe it's the lack of presence which gave them that opportunity, ENCE. But then again, not clearing the sandbags on this occasion proved extremely painful. And perhaps that was a gamble they were making. Throw the molly, wait to see if somebody's there, maybe the rotation comes through, etc. We'll focus on the bomb site, hope no one's there.
Yeah.
But Qikert is there, down go 2 of them. Another round in the bag for the Outsiders. And things look very dire for ENCE in round 10. A hero rifle, a bunch of pistols. They look very dire in the half altogether. As we said, the pistol round was worth 2. They finally win the pistol round and they basically win nothing afterwards.
There's always something, isn't there?
One way or another, it will have to be done the hard way for ENCE today.
1 rifle and 4 pistols, so they're at least giving themselves some chances at these long-range fights, but that rifle in Valde's hands, he has been joining them for quite a few of the engagements, not sending himself out on too many lurk adventures. Outsiders, once again, don't challenge the ramp too heavy. I think as well, earlier, ENCE were able to capitalize on the Outsiders on lower buys, going more aggressive. So I think Outsiders understand that there is specifics about the way they take A that ENCE have information on. Look at the front of the bomb site and Molotov in as well. This is looking fairly clean here for ENCE because Outsiders didn't have the presence on A.
Bomb getting planted now around the 35-second mark, and the retake smokes are here. They'll need some kills first though. And there's the opening frag after the bomb is planted in favor of ENCE, but they don't really have the firepower to contest Outsiders in the way they want to. 4v2 for the retake as these smokes start to get deployed now. One more for Norbert to throw. Everybody's got a kit as well. Will they need some body blocking to defuse this bomb? They're still looking for frags elevated over that smoke. You can see that AWP raining out. No one's on that bomb just yet though, and Valde is still alive. Norbert starting to defuse now. Fame trying to find Valde. He's taken down the diffuser. James won't have time, I don't believe, to get this. It's going to be close. It's going to be real close. Is he going to make it? No! There's a round for ENCE, and the crowd are super happy with that.
Oh my goodness, James as well. I think he had time if he knew exactly where it was planted, but he had to turn very quickly, and even then it comes to the slimmest of margins. Those aren't confident rounds for ENCE, but they didn't go in with an absolute full buy. Even when they had the single rifle to play off of, they're able to find some kind of success. That was a Hail Mary though. That headshot through the smoke changed everything.
Maybe this is the round that they needed. Another look at the proceedings here as Norbert does well on this retake. Again, all these frags coming after the bomb was planted, but James sees his fate before him. Light flashing through his eyes, all AWPs of course. And now we go to round 11. ENCE won't have the pistols this time, they'll have the rifles. I'm sure there's something on the floor for Snappi to collect. Indeed, there is a 5th AK-47 for the squad. The last round is not something they can really repeat in terms of success in this half, but maybe there's an epiphany to be had. Maybe they'll find a way.
And it pushes Outsiders a little closer to that edge to have their money broken as well. So if whatever success they can find would be great, but...
dycha's just been popped already towards the B-bomb site.
Yeah, and Sampaius was right behind him. He was supposed to be the trading player, but he didn't want to chase down because that could have just been 2 deaths instead.
Success didn't last long. Outsiders are on point. A great game of Dust 2, and they come in sharp on Vertigo. Big flash for maden. How about Qikert completely avoids it? 5 versus 3. What answer do ENCE have to these kills?
Seen them in spots like this before, and they haven't been able to claw the numbers back. The execution they did last round over will be the same. Look at the front of the side, the Molotov that's down, but they don't quite burn them out of position. There's 4 bodies, and they are all warm here on the Outsiders. They are ready to pounce right in. The molly on the default boxes will do nothing to stop Valde from getting that plant down. Sampaius standing his ground, but Valde's there to trade. And having just a 1-for-1 like that, ENCE don't have the numbers to sustain that. Low HP on a number of players, and Qikert's dealt with on the flank. That's a critical kill for Snappi. He's trying to set up Valde to have some kind of success, but no one's seen on the swing. And it's all about whether or not they can find these heads. Snappi's so quick with it. Off-axis plan, so it's a little awkward to try and find the lineup. And if they do, that would be great, but they're sticking the defuse, and Snappi has to land it, but he can't. It's a stolen round this time. No miraculous headshot through smoke.
That's the problem with the not default plan. Wasn't quite sure where he should be spraying. CT could be on either side or on top. Doesn't find the angle. And Outsiders will steal the round. Great support, elevated over that smoke. You can see Valde baiting, showing a bit of shoulder, finding out where the CTs are. But eventually they had that superior position and the important frag as well. They pull away once more from ENCE, who are getting closer on this bomb site. But again, those conversions do elude them on occasion. Yeah, they can still get 7 rounds from this half if they can just cross that bridge.
And that's the thing, Outsiders have a lot of very good early setups. They have utility available as well for these retakes. When you were looking at ENCE perspectives, it looks like chaos. There's kills coming left and right. There's all this util that's sailing towards them. It is a brawl for ENCE to win any single round. Outsiders look pretty calm about the whole thing, to be quite honest, but in all of these rounds as well, where they're losing numbers, again, it does prop them up for some kind of hardship ahead, but that's only if ENCE start taking these rounds.
Early B has been a problem, but again, Outsiders changed their configuration. There will be no gun engagement. They replaced that with meaty grenades. They're very aware of what they're leaving open, but will they be able to deal with this situation? Fame will play off of his teammate, and again, there's the opening frag for Outsiders, but Flipp's been dropped now, as has Fame, and Norbert's not far behind. James trying to keep his team in this one, but he's the only man, and you know where he's going. A 4th round likely for ENCE at this point. They've got the bomb on the site. James is done with this one.
This is one of those rounds as well where, as much as it might hurt your own economy to chase James down, you want to make sure every round is as expensive as possible. This half has already been lost in terms of the sheer numbers game. 8 already secured for the Outsiders, but if ENCE want hope in future rounds, limiting the efficiency of James' economy will be key. This, even sending more bodies after this might be a mistake, and I think ENCE realized that they can't hunt too proficiently. Sampaius will sideline that James AWP, but there should be still some gas in the tank for an Outsiders buy.
The 4th round for ENCE. They're edging closer to these rounds and netting another one. 3 more to go. Big frags, dycha, very dependable on the entries and the multi-frags. A flurry of kills around the map. Now we'll have a look at the Outsiders. They've been able to get another AWP for James. Some shortcomings for the likes of Norbert and the FAMAS onto Qikert, but those can be used in the right way and be very dangerous indeed. Not too terrible in that respect.
This is the round that secures a comeback if ENCE are going to allow to be doing exactly that. And Snappi finding the opening kill will at least make things a little easier. Outsiders are somewhat stuck. They've got bodies on this bomb site, but taking a lot of damage for these duels and getting away with it. Norbert as well. The spam is right on the cue, so Outsiders a man advantage.
Yeah, things turn around quickly. Outsiders playing together, huddled together. They know B has been left open, and they're heading in that direction, but can they get there fast enough? Do they have enough? Fame on 10 HP. Life may be difficult for him. His job may be cannon fodder. You can see him jumping into the site. It is exactly that. Look how he swings to the side, trying to open opportunity for his teammates, and they will deliver for him. They'll make it worthwhile. St. Pius again in the clutch on the B bomb site. Such a hard spot for him. No plant just yet. He's got to find the frags.
Oh, they built this boost so quick as well. I don't know if Pius could consider it, but he's not taking the long approach, instead playing close. Sound cues, they're starting to think he might have evaded them and actually gone back to the A bomb site, but St. Pius is still trailing forward and trying to find an advantage, but they had a crossfire built. Really good reaction there from Outsiders, gave a lot of respect, but I mean, we haven't seen any of these 1vx's work out really for ENCE.
Love the urgency from Outsiders, the spatial awareness, moving towards B together. The wild swing from 10 HP Fame is exactly what he needs to do. Just run as wide as possible, force the crosshair away, create space for your teammates to trade the frag, and then control the bomb site. Beautiful work from him. 3 rifles, 2 pistols for ENCE. 6 is the best that they can hope for in this round, in this half now rather. Snappi taking some damage early. But maybe he's forced Outsiders a little further back as far as the ramp is concerned. So the risk may just pay off for them.
It was a bit of a gamble to pick into Vertigo, and the people that were doing the best were dycha and maden, so to have them not firing on all cylinders may be something that comes back to haunt them, but execute on A here for ENCE, and they have done so with minimal resistance. Qikert was holding for that exact play for St. Pius. He didn't have to adjust his crosshair at all, and planting the bomb safely isn't really looking likely.
He's seen that story before. Qikert, the Molotov spreads just in time to finish off Snappi. Now all the smokes have gone, and ENCE is starting to disappear as well. Outsiders, 5 versus 1. Valde in the clutch, he'll tease James, but he's instantly traded by Flip. Tease the robbery of the AWP, but it will be collected. It will be collected.
ENCE must be feeling burned. Pistol, second round, and then it's a round every so often, but only as much as they can find these fast and sharp entries, which has been too infrequent. They are stuck at 4. Outsiders already up to double digits before this half is concluded, and we'll see if they can build upon that lead even further. Look at the money in the buy here for ENCE. Unideal. Galil and a bunch of pistols. Last time they at least had an AK to maybe work off of, but have to hit the dink and a quick follow-up if dycha wants to find a quick one. Feel like they've tried a few different approaches. Talked about the Molotov disrupting some nade lineups, and Outsiders throw it. Oh man, dycha's already gone, but the Galil at least can make its way into new hands.
Grenades being lined up now. And Norbert and Fame will line up the headshots as best they can. St. Pius and Snappi remain 2 versus 5 with Tech 9s, and it's going to be a hard task to even get up those stairs, and they will be denied. ENCE are capable of a strong CT half, but are 4 T rounds enough for them to mount the comeback? Find that after the break. 4 rounds on the T side, shut down by Outsiders. ENCE now need to build, and boy, do they have a lot to build on this CT side. They finally won a pistol, and they could really do with another one, but maybe these pistols are a curse for them. A lot of games haven't been done the easy way for ENCE today in the series they had earlier. In the series they're having now, they really need to start this one on the right foot.
Entering map 2, we were hoping they could dust their shoulders off, but I'm getting too many signs that dust repeats instead. Outsiders, that defense was impeccable, but they are taking it nice and slow here on the T-side pistol. If ENCE had any gimmicks, any out-of-the-box calls, they would have likely reset by now, but they're still holding round to see if Outsiders make contact in at ramp.
Some flying T's down the ramp, Valde will say. Not going to fall back though. He is ready for the pops with the USP. He's got a teammate for help as well, but St. Pius and Snappi now have been dropped. Advantage Outsiders. They've only lost 1 player. Valde still around A though, cutting noise, slinking away. As Outsiders will consider their next step. It's gone from the ramp to the side. He is being looked for though by Qikert. He's got a better angle and he will find a kill as well. Trade by Nor, but he has the superior angle. Advantage Outsiders again.
Want to see if dycha performs the same maneuver or not. Getting one might be enough to at least dissuade Outsiders, but they're running out of time. 30 seconds. They will have to eventually end up on the site and get that bomb planted, and they can afford no mistakes with that package. Fame going alone at first, but Jame will be there to join him and try and trade, but Fame doesn't even need his backup. Outsiders have broken into a 3-on-1, and maden's not had the sharpest of games. If there was ever a moment to try and pull something off and have a high-impact round, now would be it. maden's got the first, and running through those flames, trying to catch them, repositioning. Low HP player on that low ground, and Fame is just toying with him, allowing Jame to hold him on the high, and Fame will instead deliver. They looked like they were in good position to win that pistol as well, but this time ENCE cannot bring another one forward.
Baited to the point of no return. Very, very painful existence for ENCE in this grand final. Outsiders really been waiting for this grand final to peak, haven't they? Looking real good right now. But what will they be facing in the next round? Doesn't look like it'll be a lot, as it's a clean eco. Literally nothing bought by ENCE. They give no sound cues away. Cutting noise from spawn, apparently. Now, what kind of plan will they have in mind? What is the most they can expect to do here? Use the numbers, rushing like monkeys, trying to cause as much chaos as possible, but there's only so much you can do when all you have is USPs. dycha is left alone to essentially run to his own demise. They can think about the next round and forget about this one. He rings the bell multiple times, a wallbang with the USP no less. 5 points to usurp, but another round in the bag for Outsiders. 3 rounds away now from $50,000.
How do ENCE pull it off? So many rounds to claw back so quick, and to have such a confident looking Outsiders. They go with faster pace this entire series. We still had a lot of slow rounds, but by Outsider standards, we've seen a lot of quick ones. And I love this. You get yourself into advantages and you think about what your opponents are going to do. You even throw the idea out that you might be going for something slightly off book or something slightly different. These are all things that ENCE are going to have to consider, and this is a crucial gun round. If they lose this, their next best buy would be Outsiders at 15, and it would be a steeper ladder to climb.
Rough spot for ENCE. Need to force their way out of the darkness on Vertigo into the light, in the right way, of course. And for A1Ss across the board. Too early for the sniper rifles. Looking for their first hints of success in the second half. dycha always ready to frag, hyper aggressive, and ENCE like to be aggressive on their CT side. Wouldn't surprise me to see Snappi at the bottom of the ramp later on. Maybe wanting to secure their economy first. Very tight grenades indeed. Outsiders will have to wait out this initial aggression. Not much you can do when there's a smoke like that on the ramp.
So nervous about what ENCE are going to do with this, because like you said, getting aggressive could be a nice idea for them because of previous games, their comfort, but with Outsiders so close to the finish line, I don't think anybody wants to be the one at the front, the one that falls first. This is the worst part about playing the Outsiders. They let you fester and stew in all your previous mistakes and what could be for this next round as well, because Outsiders usually have a good read. Late Molotov and actually pressuring Snappi does so much damage but can't finish off a single kill.
Vintage Molly from above the ladder onto that short position. And all this time, yes, ENCE had aggression towards B, but it had to fall back from that eventually once the utility ran out, and they are limited in information, but they're getting all the information now. Problems arising on the A bomb site. Already a kill for Outsiders. They're really good at these 5v4s, looking to capitalize on that, but Valde will deny them with 2 frags. Traded eventually, but he might have done enough as Flip finds himself alone. 17 seconds, and he's had quite enough of this. These slow rounds, really nervous for the CT side as well. It's like almost playing a T side on train. You don't really know where they're going to go. Hard to put your team in the right position to defend.
Yeah, I mean, you could see the counter reactions that were there as well from ENCE. They tried to go for the boost. It didn't work out, so I mean, that just adds more to the chaos. But they're able to collect in time. Great effort there from Valde to come up with a multi-frag. He's one of the few that was at double digits ahead of everybody else for ENCE. And we really want to see and focus on Sampaio. He was mentioned on the desk as being high impact and needs to show that, but fast entry over towards B. They didn't come in with a premium buy. They had an AWP, an AK, and that AK is struck.
That's an important kill. That's exactly what they need. Jame with a tag through the box. He saw the cross and that was enough, blind or not. But Valde will take that price for position. He limits what Outsiders can do now. So many questions for Outsiders around the corner from that smoke. Are the CT still there? Do they have 2 posted up? Will they be weak towards B, or will they be stacked towards B? That re-smoke will really kill some time now. Have a look at their positions towards that B bomb site.
Oh, maden, that's a big mistake. Try to go for a flank and another rifle is given over. I mean, you might have A ramp control, but if they just group themselves up and hit that B bomb site, there's a real possibility as well. But I think they know they got that tag on Valde, so they're expecting to go to a weaker side.
Oh my days!
How on earth does he get that so quick?
They had so much control. Now it feels like they've got absolutely none. Snappi needs a multi-frag. There's the first. They're bunching up for him. That's exactly what they needed to keep ENCE alive in this game. 1 versus 2. James avoids a grenade, down to 13 HP now. He can still make this painful. He can still win this round. Looking for the CTs, running out of time to plant this bomb. The smoke will be gone soon. It might have to be by elimination. Suggesting he's fallen away. Smoke forward, actually, just covering himself, but the USP will do the job. Too difficult towards the end. A huge frag, a huge flurry of frags on that ramp for ENCE. That's the only way they stay in this.
Yeah, Snappi, that's a fantastic time to step up. I mean, that looks like they were done. Out in the open, the man stands his ground, and that will shake the Outsiders just a little. They got away with a lot, and he makes up for some of the mistakes as well from the rookie maden. Making up for lost time as well this round.
Such a marginal situation for ENCE, but it gives them so much opportunity. The money's broken for Outsiders. It won't be broken for too long, but maybe ENCE can just rest a little. Then again, maybe they can't. You can never be too careful versus this team. They've looked good in this grand final so far.
Let's keep our heads on here if you're ENCE. I mean, you have a monster round like that from your in-game leader. I think it could be very easy to feel the adrenaline alongside him, but yeah, can't underestimate these pistols, and hopefully that's the morale booster that ENCE needed. Oh, they do get the plant down on Outsiders though, so a nice little cash injection, but it's all about round wins. That's all ENCE are focused on.
These rounds are so dangerous. They keep ending up in 4 versus 5 situations, then everything is difficult. Outsiders will give them no space. They'll have to take it by force, but everything comes at a risk in this game. Outsiders have been very punishing in this grand final, but ENCE are creeping up. They're creeping forward. They're getting closer to that score, but they will still feel very far away. The only AWP in this round is in the hands of Snappi. We've seen him deliver before.
The desk was looking for aggro picks and the variety, the catalog that Snappi can offer up. More passive approaches here to start. And they do have a double setup in mid here for Outsiders. They had one built as well for ENCE, but they're actually transitioning. Small little hints perhaps about the B bomb site being compromised, but a lot of audio given up to the Outsiders as well that there could be a second man in. Valde almost getting caught on the cross. That flash was well timed, but they can't punish.
Yeah, that really compromises the hold. There's over a minute on the clock. That mid position will have a lot of presence. It's going to be really hard for ENCE to clear this. And if they do choose to clear that, that's going to cost them personnel elsewhere. We can see that Outsiders have a journey in mind. And they've got many grenades to do it with. We know what these smoke grenades mean. If they manage to plant this bomb on the A bomb site, have a look at ENCE's util. It is less than ideal. But what are the ultimate intentions here for Outsiders? Seems to constantly be in flux.
Yeah, the new information, new developments, hearing smokes as well around the map, and they divert themselves back over towards mid. Dycha behind the sandbags, and they didn't expect him to be in there, so when he pops his head up, it's 3. So Outsiders leave their sole teammate in Qikert alive, and he wasn't a part of the party, and looking like they are securing an 8th here, and it's all Dycha that does the damage. Valde will finish off business, but they now within 5.
Really important kills for Dycha. Look at the definition of hammer drill and you'll see his face next to it. Very, very important performance in mid, and again, so dangerous for Outsiders. They're always threatening to do something, a number of things. Make the wrong mistake, and it could really cost you, but Dycha is ready to deliver, dependent upon round after round. Pistols again for Outsiders, especially around smoke grenades. These Tech-9s can be so threatening to the ENCE side. But the gap, the deficit is reduced to 5.
Yeah, we saw Qikert as well really capitalize on a couple of those Tech-9 kills like you're mentioning. Maybe ENCE want to play a little closer to the action, and if they do, they could be in for a world of hurt. They got so much distance. I'm surprised Norbert doesn't come away with that. Maden had to adjust late. 1-for-1, and Snappi really good on this angle, it appears. Fame didn't really stand a chance, and Snappi just keeps on hitting heads.
I really wonder how that mid position will develop in the buy rounds for Outsiders, because even catching somebody off guard like that in a pistol round, that's information. If they feel like there's a weakness there, that is something they may look to exploit in a round later on. ENCE on the cusp of double figures now, moving to 9 rounds, 4 players surviving. All important things. Now let's see if they can get to 10, or if Outsiders will put the brakes on the train of ENCE, who are trying to recover on their CT side.
Yeah, they have to justify this map pick, and so having a strong defense will likely influence this entire game. There can be no cracks exploited, and whether or not you're right in your assumptions that that mid position could be a vulnerability still remains to be seen. Early start here from the Outsiders. Game's already holding on the angle, and yeah, talked out of it, it looked like.
Talked him down on Vertigo. This is a fast-moving round from Outsiders. Fast-moving indeed. Snappi came off of his initial angle before he went for it, and catches Jame elsewhere. There is a play to his right-hand side, though, and he could be caught himself. Qikert's going to peek eventually. Hold on a second. There's a free kill. 2 kills at the same time now. But ENCE will fight back. Snappi with another multi-frag on the ramp. He refuses to lose.
Wow, the ultimate speed bump, and sometimes just sending Outsiders sailing off the map, but it's not quite done yet. 2 players that remain here for ENCE as Norbert pulls it down to just the remainder. Snappi is forced out of position by the Molotov, and he couldn't afford to take damage. Dycha as well as trying to make up for that lost ground, but Outsiders do not commit. They know they've still got more clock to manage.
Flick giving the sound cues, but Norbert is standing still, and he's the one carrying the bomb. Now, do ENCE identify that they are being served some nonsense with those sound cues? Dycha certainly wonders. 37 seconds and grenades will be deployed. dycha looking to post up now. Didn't see the bomb, but it is there. Is this smoke a bait? There's no sound cues behind it. They're walking, they're not running. There is a quick molly now as Norbert tries to do what he can. The combination, though, won't work out, and he gets both dycha and denies the bomb plant. ENCE make it to 10.
Wow, a nade and a Molotov that were forcing him into that fight, and he still gets away with that duel? I can't quite believe it. They should punish that every time, and I think they know that. dycha pulling off miracles, but the consistency of Snappi on these fights as they come up A has been unbelievable itself.
That's such an awkward second frag to get while running backwards, trying to cancel, to get accurate shots. That is not easy to do, and Snappi, of course, does deliver. There's an early frag now in favor of ENCE, and when that's happening, you know the tide is turning. Of course, Outsiders are on the pistols once again, but it might not be for long because Qikert has nobody to answer him on the radio now. He'll try to do some damage if he can, but ENCE are growing with strength. We expected a strong CT side, maybe looking hard with their score, but look at their score now.
They didn't have the bomb when they did this. 4 bodies, and Qikert doesn't go to retrieve it. It was all about doing damage to ENCE and tailoring up a future round, but ENCE have got their eyes on the prize here on the defense. An 11th. Outsiders, they might have felt good coming into this half. They might have felt good winning the pistol as well. But things going down very quickly. As soon as they got their hands on rifles, ENCE have turned that ship around.
The body language of Outsiders tells a story, and the round wins tell a story as well. This is almost a mirror of the first half. The T side wins the pistol and the consecutive nothing doing after that. CT rounds, one after the other, this time in favor of ENCE. They move within 2 rounds of their opponent now. And they're not getting the bomb plants either, Outsiders. They will take a timeout to figure out how to stop the bleeding, but maybe it's a case of ENCE not allowing that to happen. Looking way more comfortable now. Flit still leading with 23 frags at present, but I feel like ENCE are catching up against them.
Are these signs of defeat when James concedes to buying an AK? He had about 5.5K in his pocket, but knows that armor is so critical. There's so many positions you can get spammed on this map, and the big issue has really been breaching bomb sites and then later holding them. ENCE, even if they've had to, or they've been threatened on the site, they have almost always had a response. It feels like Snappi gave a breath of fresh air for the rest of the squad because they're performing, but Fame has found the first head. Snappi gone, so inspiration will have to lead to the sideline.
Qikert is waiting for perhaps the inevitable. The grenade will force maden forward as well, trying to avoid the damage. He takes even more than he would have otherwise, but how could he know? 5 versus 3. Outsiders have found a way in round 25. 7 rounds in a row for ENCE. Outsiders managed 6 in their first half before the T's broke them. Now what do ENCE choose to do? Outsiders have cut noise. If you seek information, you will be punished, it looks like, with how many Outsiders players are here.
Yeah, the one player you would maybe hope to do so is Sun Pius's position, but with an AWP, that's almost a death sentence since Outsiders typically work in pairs. How long do they wait, and do they leave enough room for something to go wrong, because they have to deal with Valde first.
There's plenty of money for ENCE that can quickly disappear in consecutive rounds, and that's the difference between the M4 and the AK. Rings the bell, but it's not enough damage. 5 versus 2 now. Oh. I was going to ask the question, is it time to disengage? But he will not be allowed to. Flit adds 1 to the tally and makes it 24.
A soul snatcher. Sun Pius maybe hoping he can get a shot through. Whittle down those numbers, but dycha's going for something sneaky here. I mean, Outsiders getting up to 14 is obviously not ideal, but look how quick they're vacating the bomb site as well. If he finds the first kill nice and snappy, this could be good, but he will meet the exact same fate. Not a single loss from Outsiders on a successful round.
They don't need many, and that's the first one. 2 rounds away from victory. 3 rounds ahead of ENCE, but ENCE have the money for a buy. You could see maden was essentially baited into peeking by that HE grenade, and Qikert was just waiting for him. Well, then maybe there's something to be learned from that one. 5 AKs again for the Outsiders. Full buy from ENCE. They really don't want to give up that first kill if they can avoid it. But on many occasions, they haven't been able to. Enjoying the luxury of the CT side now after the arduous task on the T side. Outsiders turn to enjoy that. Rare rounds won later on from ENCE on their first half. The same is true here for Outsiders.
That's not his job, apparently. James redropping the bomb in spawn, and they have spread themselves very thin here from Outsiders. Usually there's at least a trio grouped up together, but trying to make this mid take work. Snappi has found his kill, and that will come at no kind of trade. Information, player jump up and down, and maden gets immediately domed, but it's head for head, and Sampaio's not looking the right direction. The B bomb site open for business, and ENCE can't afford an initiative battle at 15 rounds. If Outsiders get this, it might be Qikert and Snappi. His barrel spotted, so Fame makes sure he's dropped as well. Valde needs this weapon. The funds have run thin for ENCE.
That was the bomb. That was the late opportunity. That could have been quite interesting, but he was betrayed by the barrel of his gun, by the silencer on his gun. You could see maden was trying to get out of that fight. He didn't want to die there. He didn't want to fight until one person was lost. Trying to fall back, was not allowed to, and the B-bomb site collapsed mere seconds afterwards. Outsiders moving to match point, to championship point here at ESL Rotterdam, ESL Challenger Rotterdam. $50,000 for first place, and Outsiders are moving to 1 round away.
Snappi got the opener, and every single Outsiders player got their kill. It is a team effort through and through. We have had our standouts, that is for sure. Flit has been exceptional, but Fame this whole tournament as well has been right there with him. Hell, excelling past him as well as a player that didn't have a lot of attention before he joined the Outsiders, but people will know his name. Said they need more Fame for Fame, and fans will be exactly that because he has been so critical.
B-bomb site turned into a black hole. Everybody got deleted, never to be seen again. Well then, here we are. There is a quite reasonable buy here for ENCE. Boy, did they speed up. A team in Outsiders notorious for their slow rounds, but when they smell weakness, they can be lightning fast when it counts. 4 chances at victory here in normal time. In regulation, championship point as you see on the HUD. What can ENCE say about this?
Small things are going to be missing from the ENCE buy as well. Not full nade sets, not everybody having kits, so things will have to be recovered and they'll have to make do with what they've got. You don't want to be skimping on a round like this when it's championship point. Outsiders, can you bring us all the way? No one would have called a 2-0. I think the crowd were elated at the idea because Outsiders have played a different breed of Counter-Strike, a different tempo than they usually do, and it's been working so far. Snappi's usually the one to start off these rounds, and he might try and go for the same again. There was a lot of noise on ramp, but when he looks to actually investigate, there's no one there.
Such a dangerous angle for him. Look at all the presence shown by Outsiders, and they quietly slink away. Snappi going back to his old favorite, and he knows when to start speeding up. Flit is punished. Qikert is still here. Now, what do Outsiders do? Do they feel like they need to show more presence on the ramp, or do they just go into the B bomb site? Dycha's still vulnerable here. Sampaio is very, very curious indeed. If he's confident in the right-hand side of his reticle, he can hold this angle and focus on the left. He will hard clear the close though, but that will concede his position. Still gets that second frag. There's the lurker taken down. They have the information. Surely it's B now.
Yeah, and they were setting up for a B-side hit, but Outsiders, are they calling it quits? They needed a second prong to their assault. They needed a distraction on A to feel confident in this call, and so I think they're allowing ENCE to get another round. Fame will act as bodyguard, but 30 seconds left and Outsiders, no real indicator that they're going to leave the spawn. This is done.
Yeah, you can see how important it is for Outsiders to have the threat of going to multiple places. Qikert picks up the slack once Split has been eliminated on the ramp, but once he goes down, it is very obvious where they're going. They can't really throw any more tricks in there. They don't have the personnel for it, so they'll cut their losses and hold on for another buy in the next round. We can see they've got the money for it as well.
Yeah, ENCE burning pretty much all their utility through that round, but it worked to great effect. There was great enablement as well to get aggressive over at A. Even when those smokes faded, Snappi has taken rounds into his own hands before. It is strange to think that we've put so much faith in the in-game leader here for ENCE to find openers for the squad, but when they need him most, he knows what to do. Outsiders, fast approach to at least go for the B-side contact, and ENCE aren't there. They're playing further back and more contained. Their priorities over at A have certainly been recognized, so if they decided to pounce on B, I mean, there would be a timing, but how would they identify this? They've been really instilling a lot of resources on ENCE. See these three players hovering around. You cannot afford to lose your B-side anchor at any point in this area, so you can see dycha is not going to push further than he needs to.
Very familiar with how aggressive dycha can be towards B outsiders. And again, they will show presence here and there, but they will wait out the smokes on the ramp. Now, what will their plan be? They're waiting for a peak to come. They're waiting for the CTs to seek information and maybe a 5 versus 4. We can see them edging forward, but look how patient outsiders are being. There's 45 seconds on the clock and they're still waiting for the CTs to peek them.
They're peeking all right. Don't know if Sunpius is going to be really that aware of the idea that he can be shot from below, but he's going to have to make a quick adjustment. Oh, there's Snappi once again finding and springing into the action. There's 30 seconds left. Outsiders need to make their move now.
Steps ahead. He sees the boost as well. The frags go the way of ENCE. 3 rounds behind, trying to make it 2. And this looks like another one to be secured. Fliss and James need to hold what they have. Really playing the patience game, but ENCE know. ENCE know they can't go too far. Make one mistake and outsiders will be all over you, waiting for those peaks, waiting for ENCE to seek information to try and stack the correct site. They don't engage, and they find themselves at 13 rounds.
You think about the faster tempo that outsiders have used for a lot of this game. Now they go back to their old book. They're waiting at crucial moments in the round, and ENCE are ready and prepared to fight at those times. You see the smoke that's redeployed on ramp just allows Snappi to linger longer than he usually would, and with Sunpius and dycha activating on B as well, things are looking up for ENCE, but it feels like outsiders were pushed out of their comfort zone before and have fallen back on old habits.
Fame looking for something a little early, trying to speed things up. You can see presence shown on both sides. Outsiders going fishing. See James trying to take the angles away, just in case somebody's waiting for him with an AWP or otherwise. All right then, outsiders have established presence on ramp, presence on the stairs. They're in a position to deny much information for ENCE as to what their intentions are. Got to wait out this utility from ENCE. We can see Snappi jiggling. You never know, Snappi's going to go down the ramp behind that smoke grenade. Or be further up. Outsiders not really offering much in terms of sound cues at the moment, so we'll see if ENCE can be as patient. You can see James creeping. Oh boy, so dangerous. Looking for the entry, being denied. Sunpius still having a look, Flit taken out. Multiple plays on the ramp. How do you respond?
Trying to chase after him, but to no avail. Snappi will get dropped though. Qikert losing that duel a number of times, so it's revenge for him. But outsiders aren't quite done with this A bomb site. Still setting up and waiting for ENCE to make their next move, but they are grinding this clock so damn low. 20 seconds and they haven't gone further forward. Now the smoke and the Molotov will come down and the nade landing on top of Sunpius, but the boost up is well timed. An instant headshot and Valdez found his as well. It just keeps on being more and more frags for ENCE. They will guarantee all 30.
Those are exactly the frags they needed. No util left for the CTs. Did not allow that bomb to get planted. And we go to 30 rounds. Backs to the wall now, outsiders. ENCE have done it the hard way. They've had to really concentrate, really focus, limit their mistakes, limit their variance, their risk.
And again, we look at that timer that Outsiders are going with in these rounds. Again, it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 20 seconds in this round. It seems like they're giving themselves less and less time to find success on sites.
One more crack at the whip. All 5 here. Have a look at that HE grenade. That is doing chunks. Snappi not shy to be aggressive now. He's lost Valde though. It's going to be hard to trade when there's that smoke in position. There's not so much he can do about this. So, despite the damage from that grenade, it is the early frag for Outsiders that are always looking for. A minute 20 on the clock. They all focused on the ramp. Do they go and show some presence towards B now?
Hell of a time to do it if they do. Dycha left many moons ago. And maden will take his place instead. Dycha, I think, realizing the error of his ways, trying to make sure that it's not an easy going. Snappi, last time they were in a dire situation, he certainly stepped up, but he's baiting and trying to allow Sunpius enough room. Molotov in at the sandbag, so they're not calling that bluff. Qikert's got a second, and Snappi stands his ground, but gets nothing. A nade from Dycha maybe makes it a little bit better, but it's still pain for ENCE, and they still don't know for certain if it's A.
Dycha needs a multi-frag. He has the angle to do it. He can pop those heads. That clock is ticking, but there's enough time for Outsiders to take this, and they have taken his angles away. 29 seconds, still not committing to this bomb site. Qikert's made his way into B. Does maden expect anybody to be here? Doesn't look like it, and down he goes. 1 versus 4 now for Dycha. He's got so much to do. If he can find a way to take down that bomb carrier, then maybe there is something to be done, but look at all the angles he has to deal with. Looking for the lurker, we can see Flit just waiting around the corner as that bomb starts to get planted. He knows there's a flanker, he found the first one, and now you can see Qikert making things worse, almost guaranteeing a trade frag situation. He'll peek when his teammates shoot. Surely this one's over. Dycha's got so much to do in a triangle of doom, and Qikert puts him out of his misery. Outsiders are your ESL Challenger Rotterdam champions 2022.
I cannot believe it. They do it 2-0. They beat them so handily on Dust 2, and then it came to every single round on Vertigo. As soon as it came to crunch time, Qikert gets 4 kills to make sure that they have no more hope. The legends that head to Rio are beaten by